Welcome to another video. Today we're playing Mermails on ladder. I made some tweaks to the deck. We're just gonna see how many wins we can get now that the Sim King has finally reached the platinum rank. Sous Ships was the deck that enabled me to get this far, so gotta give a big thanks to the Sous Ships carrying us the way here. Now we can play some real games. Let's search for the Diva and the Moon Glacia with the two Dragoons that we discarded with Megalo. Special summon the Prince from the deck. And we want to take a look at our opponent's hand, make sure there's no Nibiru's. Gonna add our boy Poseidra. Now that we don't have Halqifibrax, gotta get creative. Let's take a look at the opponent's hand. Opponent is playing Despias. Now Despias is pretty much tier 1 right now. They got branded Fusion, don't want them to have that. They got 2 Jester of Despias, and they got an Edge Imp. Now the Edge Imp activates if it's sent to the graveyard. We're going to make our opponent discard cards, so we're going to remove that Edge Imp from their hand. Let's get that out of there. And now make them discard, see what random cards they have to get rid of. Branded in red, and the Jester. So they got 1 Jester and the branded Fusion. We're going to make Tatsunoko, and then we can use a monster in our hand to synchro summon. Ronda Fleur, that's given us 1 negate, and we got a spell negate with the Abyss Scale, so we got our opponent's whole hand covered right now. Let's pass to them, see if they can get through this. Opponent activating Jester. We're going to negate with Baron. We still got a spell negate if our opponent tries to go for the Brand of Fusion. Also, opponent might not read this card, so they might not realize how much trouble they're in. And opponent's going for the Brand of Fusion. Abyss Scale going to negate. And opponent is done. Alright, great showing for Mermails. I'll have the full deck list at the end of the video, but let's go on to some more games. Alright, we got a pretty good hand here with the Small World. We can fix it, but we're going second. And opponent's about to do some sort of super quantum combo. So while opponent's doing this, make sure you like the video and leave a comment down below, because if you leave a comment and you're subscribed to the channel, you'll get entered into the Sim King raffle. You could win signed copies of Legendary Fisherman 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do this when the channel reaches 1,000 subs, which could be soon. We're very close. So make sure you leave a comment down below. Opponent is still comboing. We're going to speed things up. Make sure opponent can combo faster. They're summoning Quantums. Who knows what this is? They're going to just special summon monsters all over the place. And all these monsters have effects where if you control them and they have a specific material, they can activate on your opponent's turn. But opponent's getting rid of all of that to make a super quantum mech King Magnus. Now, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon the materials. So if we kaiju it, it gets all its materials back. And it has these 3 effects. Once per turn, detach, shuffle a card on the field in the deck. It's unaffected by card effects, except super quant cards, which means we're going to have to kaiju it to get rid of it. And opponent cannot add cards from the deck to the hand by card effects, so that actually shuts off our entire hand. Small World does not work. We could normal heavy and make Dragoons, but this is unaffected by card effects, so we don't have a way to destroy it. And because opponent can detach, shuffle a card into the deck, if we try and make DPE, it just gets shuffled in the deck, opponent can attack over us. And yeah, so you know what? Sometimes you gotta know when you're beat. And Ash Blossom is not a kaiju, so we're gonna just go ahead and take the loss here and go on to the next game. Good job, opponent. Super quants. Sometimes you gotta draw the out. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, we got an interesting hand here. 2 copies of Small World. Let's start with Small World. Good bait for an Ash. Also can get us the best combo this deck has. Teus Dragoons. Let's get special summoning. Dragoon's gonna search. Teus gonna search. Opponent doesn't seem to have much interaction. Get that Abyss Pike. Get the Prince. Pike gonna discard the Prince. Search for an Arborea. Now, if you do this combo properly, it lets you end with an additional level 10 synchro. We're gonna make Bahamut Shark, detach, make Toad. Now we're safe from Nibiru. That was our 5th summon. Search for the Moon Glacia. Get Coral Anemone. Special summon, make him discard 2. Opponent playing Mirror Force and Monster Reborn. Interesting combination. Let's use Coral Anemone to special summon Prince from the graveyard. Activate Prince, send Dragoons, add Dragoons. And we get the Abyss Megalo to hand. And I made a catastrophic mistake. I misclicked. And sometimes we misclick and horrible things happen. And we accidentally used the wrong material for our Mistar Boy. And we wanted to use Minstrel's Coral. And now we have a Link monster down here. And we have no arrows to summon our Crusade Arborea. So that's a bit awkward. We're going to have to make do with what we got left. Megalo going to search for Abyss Scale. And we got a Lapis Dragon. Lapis Dragon going to special summon. Make the Abysslacia. And we put the Abyss Scale on the Megalo. We could have ended with an additional negate. We could have had Abysslacia and a level, well, I guess it wouldn't have been a negate, but would have been able to make a level 10 synchro. We could have made the Sword Soul. We're locked into waters. Opponent summoning Adamanticators. We're going to hold off and use our toe to negate this Dragite. Don't want to negate their little level 4 monsters because they can just keep special summon them. And now we stole our opponent's Dragite. And opponent is activating Fusion Destiny, but Abyss Scale going to negate. And it's back to our turn. We're going to flip that Dragite face up so we can negate a spell. Synchro summon Baron de Fleur. And we got 2 negates. Opponent going to Solemn our Baron, but not looking too hot here. Let's Anaconda. Make the DPE. Not going to take any chances. Let's activate. Pop DP. Pop that last card, a Mirror Force, and our battle phase is skipped. We don't have lethal here, but we got Dragite to negate spells, and we got pop with a DPE. See if the opponent can do anything. Opponent's setting a card. We're gonna pop it, and it looks like this is lethal here, unless our opponent has Gores. Let's get to battle. Just kidding, we're gonna Small World. Search for Kaiju, because why not? Let's attack, and we got lethal. Opponent is done. Alright, great showing from the Mermails. Even when we play badly, sometimes you can still win. You can still steal it. Alright, let's go on to the next game. Alright. We got Diva, we got Heavy Infantry. Now, if we have the opportunity, I like to play around Ash Blossom, so we're going to summon the Heavy first, then special summon a Diva. Get ourselves a Prince here. Prince going to send Dragoons, add Dragoons to hand. Dragoon's going to activate, get us the Minstrel, so we can take a peek at our opponent's hand. Let's see what they got, so we can play around it. Opponent has all back row and a Pot of Prosperity. That is very interesting, opponent. Well, we want a way to deal with all this. We're going to make our opponent discard 2 cards, and we're going to have to find a way to deal with back row repeatedly. So, let's search for the Moonglacia. Special summon Tatsunoko here. And I thought about doing a different line with Tatsunoko, but then I realized, you know, we'll see what we discard first. We're going to finally discard the pot, and we discard the Ice Dragon's Prison. So we're going to go into DPE here. We know our opponent has Solemn, so we're going to make him Solemn and a Gravedigger's Trap Hole, I believe. Yeah, Solemn and 2 copies of Gravedigger's Trap Hole. So we're going to make DPE here, and we're going to pass the opponent. And that's probably the 3 cards that we saw. So let's pop 1, get a Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Not terrible. And we top deck Abyss Pike, which is pretty good, because we can special summon it for free. With the effect of that DPE material, discard the Dragoons to search for the Abyss Pike. Opponent going to Ash Blossom, but we don't actually care about the search from Pike. We care about the search from Dragoons. That's going to activate right now. Get us the Diva. DP going to summon itself. We can pop one of their back row. Normal summon Diva. And opponent is done. Not willing to face the defeat. How are we supposed to deal battle damage to our opponent if our opponents keep surrendering? We'll find a way. Let's do one more game and then I'll show off the deck list. Alright. Interesting hand here. We got Diva. We got a little bit of an extension here with the Teus. Let's start with Diva. Get the Prince. Gonna send Dragoons, add Dragoons. Search for the Deep Sea Minstrel. Let's take a peek at our opponent's hand. opponent has Lightning Storm, Destiny Hero, Plasma, some other elemental heroes, and a Neos. Well, we don't care if they have Neos in hand, so let's banish the Neos. We'll make them discard 2 of their other cards. Get that Glacia. Now, we probably should be summoning things in defense mode if we can to play around that Lightning Storm, but we'll just make them discard, see if we get lucky. We hit the Lightning Storm, very nice, and an elemental hero. So let's special summon Arborea to a zone the Predaplant points to. Special summon Teus. Get that Abyss Pike to hand, and now we can make Fleur, and we can make the DPE. So we got pops, we got negates. We're feeling good. An opponent doesn't want to see it. They don't want to play into our board. All right. Well, hey, you know what? That was pretty fun. Let's go on to the deck list. Now, Halqifibrax may be gone, but he lives on in our hearts, and our combos continue. The Mermail deck is very resilient. We're still playing Penguin, although he didn't show up today. We had a couple chances to search for him, but when you're playing against decks that have a lot of back row, Penguin's not very good. So you gotta hope you're playing against some of those fusion decks, and then it's a good time to bring in the Penguin. In the extra deck, there's probably some slots that we could move around. I have never once summoned White Aura Whale. All the time he's been in my extra deck. I have never summoned him once. I really hope one day it'll make sense, but, you know, based on the track record, I'm thinking I should take this out, replace it with something else. Let me know in the comments if you got suggestions. Abyss Gios, another card I just never make. You know, what's the point of having it if you never make it? Maybe we should throw another Tatsunoko in here, because Tatsunoko gets made all the time. Something to think about. We got Mr. Boy. He's useful. Got the Verte. Definitely a great card. I'm not cutting this until Konami bans it. Alright. Hope you liked today's video. Make sure to comment down below to enter in the contest. And gotta be subscribed. I think there's probably only 2 days left in the contest before we hit 1,000 subs, and I'll be declaring the winners later this week. So make sure you stay tuned, come back, see if you won. All right, have a good night.